Remote Evil. Book 1. Chapter 16. What Happens at Night? This audiovisual book was created by Joseph Russell Tim Pugison. Soon the food and water dropped from the ceiling. She ate and drank all the food and water as usual, but this time much slower. She is analyzing the contents of the plastic shopping bag. Her mind is racing fast now. She is trying to decide which food packages will be able to help her escape. There were plastic wrappers and thick paper wrappings covering her food. She has to find a way to get and hide these food wrappers. But there is no place in her cage where she can hide them. There was no furniture in her cage or any other hiding places. The cameras monitored every inch of the cage and they know her every move. She was also naked and there is nowhere in her body she can hide them. Her mind was racing. She cannot accept defeat. There must be a way where she can hide these food wrappers. Her mind insisted that there is a way out for her in this prison of hers. She was so busy thinking that she did not mind how she ate. Then she started to feel something solid stuck in her teeth. No matter how hard she chewed it, she was not able to chew it. She took it out of her mouth. It was a thick paper wrapper. Immediately she had an idea. She began chewing the food together with their wrappers, including the plastic ones. She used her tongue to try to fit them in one corner of her mouth while still eating very slowly. Then she got another idea. She secretly took out some of the food wrappers she had in her mouth and hid them in her hands away from the views of the cameras. She was very careful not to let the cameras know what she was doing. She was nervous all of the time. She then touched her buttocks, acting as if they were sore. She then deposited the pieces of the food wrappers hidden in her hand and put them in the bottom of her buttocks while she sat. All the time she was carefully looking at the cameras, trying to see if there will be any reactions to what she was doing. If she has been found out, she would know it soon, she thought. She continued what she was doing for some time, trying to get and hide as much of the pieces of food wrappers as she can. Trying not to arouse any suspicions, she did finish her food after a while. She was able to hide a fair bit of food wrappers. As usual, she deposited her garbage on the garbage hole in the cage floor. She did not go to the toilet to wash up, afraid that when she stood up the cameras will see her hidden pieces of food wrappers. She was actually dying to urinate, but she kept controlling her bladder. Then after a while the lights were turned off. It was pitch dark again. She first looked around, trying to see if she was being monitored in the dark. There was nothing around her. She could not even see her hands, even when they are already in front of her face. Feeling confident, she slowly started her plan. She used her sense of touch to pick up the pieces of food wrappers at the bottom of her buttocks. By now her senses have become accustomed to the smell of the sleeping gas that was starting to fill the room. She knows she just has a short time before she becomes unconscious again because of the sleeping gas. She began to slowly control her breathing. She tried to inhale as little air as possible, trying not to breathe the sleeping gas inside her nose. She also rolled some of the pieces of the food wrapper into a very small ball, just large enough to fit into her nostrils. When she inserted these small paper balls in her nostrils, she felt she can barely breathe. It was working, but it was very uncomfortable. She was still breathing sleeping gas, but it was very little. But the sleeping gas was still working and she was getting a little bit dizzy. She started to worry that she will become unconscious soon and will be raped again. She kept fighting the sleeping gas. Then she remembered a trick that she learned when she was a young girl and was a little bit rebellious. She smoked to impress her friends. But she never inhaled the smoke of her cigarettes. She started to do this trick combined with breathing as little as possible. After a while it seemed to work. She was not losing her consciousness, but was still just a little dizzy. Feeling empowered because she has not lost her consciousness despite the fact that a long time has passed, she practiced clenching her fist. She is getting ready to hit anyone who might attack her anytime in the dark. End of chapter.